Oh, hey everyone, how are you guys doing? Welcome back to another episode of the Heinz Report Case Files Edition. We are looking at the Jonathan Majors case as we have been doing all through this particular week. Now that we have the transcripts, all courtesy of Katt Wagner, who was able to obtain the transcripts from the co-reporter. She obtained the transcripts, I believe, of Officer Swain. I think it's Doctor. I'm not sure if it's Doctor, but I think it's another Officer Stick. I am always unsure of the identity of that person, so do forgive me on that. We also got the transcripts of Ollie Blakey as well as Grace Jabbari herself. So we have covered on the channel the we have covered on the channel the transcripts of Officer Swain, as well as Holly Blakey, and you can go and check that out on the channel, on the previous live streams that we've done, as well as our other content that we have on the channel. Is all done in a neat playlist for you to check out. But overall, today we are mainly going to be focusing on Grace Jabbari's 6th of December testimonies, because we had covered the 5th of December in the previous three live streams, I believe, and this one we're gonna go straight into basically what she has been saying for the past for the well we are basically gonna go into her testimonies for the 6th of December, which should be, if I'm not mistaken, day 6, day 3 or day 6. I'm not sure. It was the timings and the dates was very weird when covering the trial live on YouTube. But yeah, so we are going to be basically fact checking the fact checkers that was the mainstream media that was basically reporting this case. We all know of the infamous Megan tweet, who was basically saying that we should be trusting the court reporters that are doing this, and the people that are basically saying that, or alleging that they are hiding or not giving out all the relevant information, that those people should be watched. We are basically gonna see if that has any merit, because so far as we're going through, a lot of things have come out, especially from Officer Swain's testimony. So without further ado, I'm gonna go straight into the transcript read, and yeah, so it's right here. Yep, that's the one. Got it all up. Sana Deck, welcome to welcome to the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. What's up? What's up to you? What's up to you too? Welcome to the show. Like I said, for those that are just tuning in, yeah, we're just gonna go through the transcript reading of Grace Jabbari. We have already done Officer Nick Swain, I believe his name Nick Swain, and also Holly Blakey's testimony read in the previous three live stream that you can find just by simply going to either the playlist that's available on the channel, reading the description, or just looking at the card. Or I'm not sure if I have that feature, so to actually insert cards. I don't think I've been able to do it successfully, but yeah, so we're gonna go straight into Grace Jabbari's transcript read. So last time, as you may remember, they had adjourned for the day that was the 5th of December. This is the 6th of December that we're gonna go into. So this is the prosecution going back to their direct examination, and they are talking about March 25th. If you remember, we went through her description of how she was in the SUV. She basically described her arm being twisted over and being held by Jonathan, which in my opinion, it's not, it doesn't seem plausible, because of how quick Jonathan was able to get out of the car, and even her following him out of the car before being lifted up. Of course, I couldn't find the footage to show him getting out of the car because it was cut. But I've been struggling to find that I've been trying to find that footage, couldn't find it since. And yeah, but there was a moment in which she had allegedly, now because I can't find the footage to prove it, she had tried to put him back into the car before him getting out, and then they got out. In that moment, he pushed her, but he had lifted her back into the car. So because of that, all the description that she gave in regards to basically all the description that she gave in regards to how he got her into that hand lock, all of those things was really in doubt, because again, she had claimed that her arm was injured in that moment, but she couldn't feel it because of adrenaline, etc. Which is why she was able to go for the phone. But again, based on her testimony, based on everything, she seems to be more interested in going for the phone and more interested in seeing what's on the phone. And this makes sense as well, based on Jonathan's ABC testimony, not testimony, interview, that he showed her the phone, she wanted to see, and she tried to grab the phone, which makes sense because she wants to see the whole context, not just what he's saying. And that's what she was caught up on. The fact that I'm gonna show a bit of that actually. You know what? Without keep talking about it and just keep mentioning it, I'm just gonna try and show it, because it will be a lot easier to explain it all with with an illustration. But I'm sure you know exactly what I mean. We've seen it so many times now. It's pretty much been over and over again, repeated in even in the interview. It was shown numerous times. So we're gonna go in here, and I believe this is after the chase. So it's here. So this is the part here where Jonathan. So this is the. Sorry. Let me share my screen. Yep. So this is the part here where Jonathan was. Yeah, we've seen it so many times, but yeah. So that's the part that Jonathan said that she went for the phone. I think a lot of people miss this because they don't know they don't even know why he starts running again. But as you can see, the phone is on the right hand. She reached for it again. He pushes her off. Bang. And that's it. That's it basically. So that's what we were basically going through in the previous stream, analyzing how plausible that is. Hey Laura, how you doing? Laura B. Sana says he lied. Of course she did. I mean, I personally believe she did anyway. Danny, how are you doing? Howdy to you too. If I had a hat, I'll tip it off to you. But yeah, welcome. Thank you so much for everyone that is currently tuned in. So we're gonna go through this transcript read at the moment. So here we go. So prosecution says I'm going to start by directing your attention back to March 25th, 2023 at approximately 12:40 to 12:40 a.m. I just want to ask some clarifying questions. Damn. I'm not sure if you have time, because I know you said that you were gonna. And this is to Danny, because I'm not sure if you have time, because I know you said you were gonna appear on another stream later on. But if you wanna jump on and read this part of direct with me, because I think your input would be amazing here, Danny. This one goes over to you. Just let me know, and then I'll send you the details. But yeah, it would be lovely to get your core insights, in regards to this. If not, it's totally fine. It's totally cool. But it just popped into my head as we speaking right now. I was like, oh yeah, she was. What am I doing? She's actually in core. But yeah, nonetheless, however it is, just let me know how you're feeling, or if you can do it. But other than that, welcome everyone to the stream. Thank you. Yes. Okay. So she says yes to the clarifying questions. The DA says, yeah, yesterday you are testified that you saw a text message. text messages on the defendant's phone that said that I wish I was kissing you. Yes, sorry. I'm publishing what is in evidence, People's Exhibit 4D, as in dog. Judge said we informed the court we're going to have an associate assistant. So that's the prosecution saying that. Judge responds, what are we doing today? I don't know if you noticed yesterday, Mr. Perez almost killed himself. So we need him for the rest of the trial. So obviously, we are going to put other people at risk in any event. What I'm going to do, I'm going to allow both sides, if they need technical assistance, to have somebody working the monitors. Now that was a funny joke. Now thinking about it, because he was actually struggling yesterday, Mr. Perez. Well, in the last stream that we did. This way, the people are not walking back and forth before tripping and hurting themselves. So that's what we're doing this morning, okay? And we're not going to rehash the testimony heard yesterday. We're moving forward. Yes, we are just clarifying questions. Okay, thank you. They got Judge Gaffey seems like a funny guy. Lou says, good evening to you, Lou. I have you on laptop while my toddler is watching Mickey Mouse and husband and I are waiting for Mr. Bates versus the post office. Oh, the post office. Oh gosh. That trial is wild. I'm hearing so many things about that trial. I'm not sure. I think I follow Bates himself. I'm not too sure if it's the same one, but he was speaking to me in regards to that. He said he was the person that was at the central figure. Probably is him, but I do need, because it's blown up now. It's gone to it's basically everyone is now aware of it. So yeah. So it would be nice to get some to know what's going on, really. I'm not planning to cover it or anything like that. It's just to know what's going on, because I saw Nick talking about it for a long time, Nick Wallace, and I'm just here wondering, what's happening. But apparently something with their systems failing or something like that. I don't know details, but anyway, welcome, Lou. Thank you so much for tuning in. So he says, Ms. Jabbari, you testified yesterday you had seen the defendant send a song. Yes. Is the substance of People's Exhibit 4D consistent with what you saw on the defendant's phone? Yes. Other than that, it looks like a photo of a song that I saw send him, if that makes sense. No, the reason why I know this is also, I think he told her it was a song because told him it was a song. If I'm going to take this as truth, I'm going to assume that this girl is not well and has trust issues already, on top of me just not being well, because obviously he suffers from severe depression. That could have been the mood swings that she was trying to articulate, but was, in my opinion, doing a poor job, because I don't believe she reacted positively to those mood swings either, because I'm being genuine here. I don't think she knew his mental state or all those things. It's not something you readily talk about at the start of a relationship, or even when it's deeper into the relationship. So I do think that she reacted badly, and she's looking back on it and reflecting, thinking, oh shoot, that will make me look bad, so let me try, and which is what a lot of the minimizations I was referring to in the previous streams about. But moving on, says prosecution says, I'm publishing to the jury as evidence, blah blah. Ms. Jabbari, is the text message that you're seeing consistent with the substance of the text message you saw on March 25th, 2023? Yeah. And did you come to learn that who the defendant was texting? I just saw the name Cleopatra. Thank you. Yesterday, you had additionally testified that you felt pressure in your right hand during the incident in the car. Can you explain to the members of the jury what you meant by the word pressure? I just felt the force of his hands on my hands. I hope that's clear. What was the defendant doing to cause the pressure? Objection, asked and answered, sustained. Let's move on to the next question. Can we approach on that? Let's just move on. So the judge was not really on approaching. I've never seen that happen. I thought the judge normally allow people to approach, but this is the first time I'm seeing him reject and just say, let's move on. There's no need to actually approach. But anyway, Jamia Solomon, he's here on the stream. What's up? Okay, welcome, Jamia Solomon, to the stream. We're just gonna go back to Grace Jabbari's reading. What, if any, pain did you feel at the moment there was pressure on your hands? Objection has been answered. Your Honor, we reviewed the minutes, and I don't believe that had been answered. All right, ask the question. Overruled. So, what, if any, pain did you feel in your right hand while the defendant was applying pressure? Yeah, I felt substantial pain in that moment. You already know. But she said that she didn't feel pain because she was more interested in getting the phone, and she was having adrenaline. There were moving on. Yeah, I felt substantial pain in that moment. I couldn't see what he was doing, but I just felt really uncomfortable. Was this the first time during the incident in the car that you had felt pain in your right hand? Other than that, then he was kind of prying my hands. Do you not see that this is contradictory already? I mean, you say you say you didn't feel pain because you were just more interested in getting the phone, and you were just more interested in seeing what was on the phone in the previous streams that we've done. But now she feels pain. Which one is it? Because he can't just go away because you went to the club, the adrenaline thing, because this negates that. This completely nullifies that argument. Anyway, you had also testified yesterday that the defendant twisted your right arm. How long did he twist your right arm? It felt like close to 30 seconds, that kind of thing, I would say. Also, just to add to that, I personally feel it's either one or either she didn't feel no pain, and then intermittent pain, no pain and Lucy's intermittent. I don't know what that is. Flavius user, welcome to your streaming. Intermittent pain, no pain and Lucy's. Absolute. I mean, I don't know people's threshold. I mean, she could have felt pain at that moment, but from what she was describing, because again, she was trying to explain why she went out of the car with him and chased after him, all those things. She said that she didn't feel any of this, and she didn't feel discomfort. She can't remember feeling it because all she was interested in getting the car. But now she says if she feels pain the next day, I don't know, man. That's the part that I'm. But again, potato. So I don't. Let's just go back. Do you remember what portion of your right arm? Just the whole of it. I mean, because I wasn't looking, I feel I can't say the exact movements he was doing, but the sensation of it, okay, that's fair. But the sensation of it was like everything was twisted, and he was just like trying to move me and trying to make me hurt. So I guess, not be hiding from him. Okay. Do you know approximately how long? Do you know approximately how long that would have lasted? Again, it's a hard thing to contextualize. Okay. Objection asked and answered. This was just two questions ago. Overruled. Says yeah, it felt longer than it potentially was, but I think probably, yeah, again, the whole thing lasted, the hand and the turning, about, yeah, between 30 seconds to a minute. I don't think it'll be that long, but sure. Okay, thank you. And you were asked yesterday how much time had passed between what happened inside the car and what happened outside. You testified not much. What did you mean by not much? Asked and answered is that was asked and answered. So that's sustained. How long approximately did the defendant's actions inside the car last in total? Asked and answered. It felt like a couple of minutes. Yeah, because like I was literally about to say the perception of time in all these things, and I will agree with her here. Sorry, not agree, but I will sympathize with her here, because when you are in these moments, time can go either quick or slow. You don't know, so it can be like, this does seem accurate. If it is a couple of minutes or all those things, I think it's shorter than that. I think it's like 30 seconds, but oh well. You testified yesterday that your body felt light in his hands. Approximately, if you know, how much did you weigh on March 25th? About 120 pounds. How tall are you? 5'6". If you know approximately how much did the defendant weigh. This is where Danny was saying that she, okay, maybe like double me. So 120 is 240. maybe like double. Maybe I would guess double me. I don't know. Do you know how tall the defendant approximately is? 6'2". So Danny, score to you. Score. She's been scoring flawlessly anyway, because everything that she said from the courtroom has been factual, facts and facts. So this is just another one down, because she did say, yeah, she tried to make him seem like he was 6'2", etc. Try to make him seem a lot larger than what he was, when he is easily 5'11", 6 foot, if anything. Moving and not even up to 200 pounds. Anyway, moving forward in the night, what did you do after arriving at the Chelsea Mercantile? I walked in, took my shoes off, took my coat off, and got some water and went up the stairs to the apartment. When you arrive at the apartment, how do you get to your apartment specifically? Okay, you go into the elevator to the top floor and walk down like a small corridor, and then the door, and then open the door with a key. At that point in the night, what was your pain level like in your hand? Again, it was kind of full body experience of shock, so I wasn't really registering the full pain. See what I mean? What was definitely happening with my finger was that it had changed color slightly. It was kind of red, and I just had this really, really acute, really, I was really aware that something was not right, because I know pain. She went back to her apartment. Let's go back to that camera, actually, because the point I'm about to make is kind of it's really important. I just want the time. I just want the time. So no, there is no time here. This is my thing, right? She's there. She's sitting there, and she's going on her phone. This is my thing, right? You're here at the apartment. Based on this title card, because there was a title card. Where is it? There should be a title card. It was obviously nighttime, so this was you said approximately 3:23 a.m. So approximately 3 a.m., 4 a.m. She went back to her apartment. The reason why I'm pointing this out, and I want to point this out, is because in the UK, 3 a.m. would be 9 a.m. So if you're looking at your phone, remember, this is her phone. If you're going through your phone, going through your hand, handling all of that, and you see red, she said she couldn't feel pain, but she saw her hand red. Why? It's again. It's 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. UK time, 8 a.m. If I'm, 8, 9, whatever. At this point, wouldn't you want to message Holly Blakey to say, hey, this happened? I mean, she did that hours later, but I'm just saying it would make more sense. While, I mean, she said she wasn't drunk, she wasn't doing any of that. So I'm wondering, who is she on the phone to then? At this point, who is she actually on the phone to? I think it was established that it may have been Priya Satyani. Again, why did she have these pictures? Because that's what I'm imagining that should happen naturally if you notice something that is uniquely new to your hand that you feel you didn't cause. Just saying. The reason why I say that is because I feel like she realized something else later on and decided to speak to Holly the way she did. That's just speculation. Everything is speculative here at this point. So she said, anyway, going back, so he said it was kind of red, and I just had this really acute, I was really aware that something was not right, because I know pain. Okay, you know pain. Being, as I said yesterday, a dancer, broken things before, and I was just like, that's not right. But again, I was just sad and in shock still with everything that happened prior. So they published to the jury, and they start playing at 1944, which I'm guessing is the same time I just played to you, which would be her sitting at the lobby. So judge says, while they're setting up, just to let you know, we are looking at both sides. And both sides have agreed you should see as an A to you is what's called a compilation video or a timeline video. That's what that's why you're looking at these compilations. The captions that are on these photos that show the date and time, they were intended only for your review of the evidence and review of the footage. So they published the exhibit. That's probably the video that we just watched. You could stop the video here, 21 minutes 10. Ms. Jabbari, on the video surveillance, it shows that you were using your hands to go through your purse. Yes. How were you able to do that? I just was like I said, I knew it was in pain, but it wasn't out of action. It wasn't. It was also the top bone in my finger. It wasn't my whole finger. Let me know, chat, if you see a problem with this testimony. Chat, let me know if you see a problem with this testimony. I'll get back to that in literally a few minutes after I finish reading this. Let me know where you think the problem is with that testimony. I'll get back to that in a few minutes. It wasn't my whole hand, and so I remember I like kind of prioritizing my index finger and thumb, but I'm also right-handed, so I was just trying to find my keys. So once I was out of the elevator, I just had it in my hand. What was your range of motion like in your hand at this point in time? I don't really recall. As I said, I was just so focused on where my heart is, not my physical pain. Okay. That's interesting. Let me type it into you so that you guys can see the Q&A. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat with this hand testimony. So that's the Q&A published right now. So yeah, so also if you have any questions that you wanna ask, let me know so that I can also type it in and then plaster it on the chat for you. Anywho, moving on. So you said you stated earlier that you had made your way into the apartment. What did you do when you first arrived at the apartment? I just took my shoes. Objection, absent answer. That'll be overruled. So they go on. Yeah, I just kind of took my outside wear off, coat, shoes, got a glass of water, and went up. Our bed is on like the third floor, so we went up there. How many floors are in the apartment? 3. You stated that your bedroom was on the third floor. Yeah. Where was the kitchen? On the bottom floor. What did you do when you arrived in the bedroom? I called Jonathan. Do you remember if the defendant had called you at this point? I don't recall if he called me, but he had texted me. Right. So before going on to see to this, okay. So I really need to see this exhibit. Ms. Jabbari, is this the substance of the text message you received from the defendant? Yes. How did you feel after receiving the text message? Confused. It was mixed messaging. What do you mean by that? Just that he's saying he loved me, he was never unfaithful, but he wouldn't answer that. He just ran away instead of saying he was never unfaithful, or he didn't want to prove it, or I just felt like, okay, let's talk about it. If you are saying you love me, but you were never unfaithful, tell me you were unfaithful and show me the messages. It's easy in my head. Just so the record is clear, could you describe the color of the text messages that are germane to Mr. Majors, meaning, Mr. Majors? Oops. 1 second. Not seeing your messages come through. Right. Okay. But the videos show her using all the fingers. There's no avoidance thing. Yes, the video does show that. And okay, so the problem that I know is in regards to the finger, the issue with the finger is she says this top part was hurt and this part was hurt. I'm gonna go to show the fingers, because if that's what you notice was hurt, or if that's what you're feeling was hurt, etc., and all of that, because that seems like, that would seem a lot more consistent with injuries, especially what she's describing here. It sounds like it's more consistent with injuries to do with, well, definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, it seems like it's injuries to do with how do I say it? It sounds like it's more injuries to do with the fact that you are the one. It sounds like it's injuries to do with you going for the object rather than someone actually forcefully injuring you. Because what's happening here is, I'm gonna try and find the pictures. I'm trying to find the pictures here of, I believe it's here. Yeah, I'm trying to find our pictures here. I think it's here. I don't think it's here. Nope. I can't find the finger pictures here. It's not here. Actually, it would be here. No, it's not here. Right. No, that's not it. They're not showing. They didn't show they did show the finger injury. I just can't find it. Right. Okay. So, uh, right. So let's see what happens. Should be here. Images. I'm using Yahoo, so bear with me. Okay. So that's the. I'm not sure if you can see it. Well, you can see it. Can't see it properly here, so I'm gonna show this one. That's the. So as you can see, that's what this is this is the finger that she's making reference to, but there was no mention of this finger. It was just the thumb and here, and this is clearly a right hand. She says she is right-handed, so she's making it sound like it was her left hand, but no, it was actually your right hand. So at this point, I'm not a doctor, I'm not anything, but I don't know. Memory can also, I'm just show I don't know how it is. Memory can also play tricks on you as well. So the doc says one day if they will show X-rays, seems people struggle to see the break. The X-ray that Danny was referring to, they didn't find any fractures or anything. In fact, if I was to go back to the excerpt, I believe the fractures that was found, from the analysis that of the defense expert witness, they said that it's more consistent with a. So, let me actually get the actual wording. Let me actually get the actual wording. 1 second. Let me actually get the actual wording. It should be, I believe it's here. Chloe, Max, Naveed, Dr. William Shang. It's not that one. Officers, nope, I didn't put it here. It should be on the next one then. Should be here. But I believe this was when the ear injury, I can't reconcile. I don't know what happened there. I'm not gonna try and reconcile if Tammy is the defense expert witness. I'm not gonna try and reconcile the ear injury if she couldn't even do it. So that's just what it is. Yeah, spiral fracture. So she says the doctor went and testified that Grace sustained an oblique linear fracture. She said if her hand was twisted or squeezed, she would have got a spiral fracture. So, and this was also agreed with other medical doctors that opined on the case. But actually, I'm not sure if she if the doctor heard this testimony. Actually, I'm sure. I'm thinking of the ear. My bad. My bad. She was opining to the ear. So she actually did agree with what this doctor said in regards to the ear injury, saying that it would not have issues if you suffered a blow to the head, the tissues and everything around the ear would have been injured, not just a laceration showing a picture. So she actually agreed with that. But she went on to say, and this is MD Jess. She went on to say that the laceration seems more of a, don't want to get this wrong, shearing injury. This is why I pause a lot, because I want to make sure that my facts are correct. Anyway, going chat says Kurt Pocket is more likely how she hurt. I actually, to be honest, when she was doing all she was doing with Jonathan's coat, that seems more likely to cause this. Like, just based on how the coat would move, etc. Just based on that. Yeah. When you have eczema and skin flicks, maybe she has eczema. I don't know. Haircut looks too clean, like it was done by a knife. I wouldn't say knife, because they would be it would be jagged. I think that would be jagged. It wouldn't be clean. I think it'd be more. Sorry, not sorry. If it was deep, in my opinion, if it was deep, then it would be jagged, in my opinion. But it looks, it doesn't. Shearing suggests friction burn. From what the doctor was saying, from what the MD was saying, shearing suggests it was friction burn, so that would cause that laceration. So I believe we are half an hour into the stream, or 40 minutes into the stream. Thank you so much for everyone for tuning on to the stream. Don't forget to like this stream, and also don't forget to share it. It really helps with the algorithm, helps them become our best friend, lets everyone else know about this stream, because we are going through Grace Jabbari's transcript read of the 6th of December, and we are, most importantly, fact checking the fact checkers. Also, don't forget to check out our YouTube channel for more and more content that we do. We've covered a plethora of cases, and we've done a plethora of live streams with amazing guests, and they're all collated in a neat little playlist podcast just for you. So don't forget to check out those content, and also don't forget to like and subscribe. Of course, we can never forget to hit that subscribe button, and of course, make sure you check out drheinz.info as well, to also get all the sources available there. They're not in the description. Everything in the description is in YouTube. It's just for YouTube. Anyway, going back to the reading, Ms. Jabbari, if you could state which color the text message is from the defendant. So they published it. They published it. Ms. Jabbari, is that what you responded to defendant? Yes. Approximately what time do you send this message? If I'm reading it, it was 3:27 a.m. Now, I just want to know what the messages said, because I don't have public access to this. I'm hoping someone has it. I'm gonna message someone. I'm gonna have to send a message over. Let's see what happens. I'm pretty sure Katt will have it. Always. Anyway, because I've been looking everywhere, but I don't know where to get the exhibits for this. So, is that when you remember sending the text message? Yeah. What color indicates that your text messages? Gray. What color indicates defendant's text messages? Blue. iPhone gang. What did you mean by the message you sent to the defendant? I just don't know. Yeah, I just really wanted to know what was going on. It was so confusing. I just wanted to speak to him, when we were living together. Where are you? What did you mean when you said that you went crazy? I asked to see it. It's actions. What did you mean when you said you went crazy when I asked to see it? It's actions in the car. That was referring to the physical alteration. Yeah. It also states that you had asked the defendant to call you. Yeah. So they could have looked at the text message and her characterization of it here, and the jury, they being the jury, and looked at it and concluded that the finger injury is what caused it. Because of her saying you went crazy when I asked you to see it. So they could just take that and say, okay, cool, that's enough to tie Jonathan to it. The crazy could just be the recklessness that we're looking for. That's what I personally think. If they were to have a sticking point, they would hone in on that text message, just that text messages. And I'm not sure, did they request for text messages? I think they did request for text. I'm not too sure. They requested for Holly transcript. I believe it was Chloe. I believe it was Chloe. And they requested for the CCTV to do with a car. So if it was anything, it may have been them honing in on this text message alone. It also states that you had asked the defendant to call you. Yeah. Did there come a time when you did speak to the defendant? Yes. Can you explain to the members of the jury, if any conversation you had? We spoke. I was like laying on the bed upstairs, and he was kind of saying that he didn't do anything, that he loved me. And I said, I'm here, I'm in pain, and you're not here, but you're saying you love me. Just come here. All this is going to take is for you to explain yourself. We can carry on or not. But there is no conversation that we've had. He said, well, I will come, but I deleted all the messages, so I just hung up the phone because I was upset. I'm gonna go to the chat. I'm gonna take a few moments to go to the chat right now. Ipatia says, and welcome to the stream, by the way. I did not officially welcome you. Thank you so much for tuning in, by the way. It says it would surely be jagged if it was done by fingers. Fair point. Let me go back to the picture. That's a fair point. It is clean though, and you would have blood residue on it because it does look like it would be an immediate bleed if it was done by the finger. So you would have blood residue on whoever finger has done it. So if Jonathan had done it, there should have been blood residue on his hands. He was obviously arrested. Did he wash his hands at the hotel? Maybe. But then again, it's not that ironclad that gets rid of it. Again, the police would know all this the minute they made the arrest. Again, time had passed. Don't know how these investigations work. That's a massive caveat for me to put down. And I have to say that because I actually don't know how these whole investigations work. So Ipatia said, it had to be pulled apart or split by putting the ear, but the skin there doesn't split so easily. That's true. It's common to get eczema in that area, though. To be honest, I actually don't know, because I've got two. I have a friend who does have eczema, and I met someone else that also has eczema, and it's different for both of them, because my friend has it on his left hand, or left or right, I don't know which hand. I believe it's left anyway, and it's very dry here. The other person that I used to work with, she had it on her face, and the face and the hand was very dry. But I'm not sure. Obviously, no one. I'm not gonna go up to her and be like, "Hey, let's look behind your ear and see." That never happened. But I mean, would that be the case? I feel like if she had eczema, there would be some sort of tell, or at least Jonathan would have said, she suffers from it, or something. Like, I don't know. I don't. What I'm trying to say is that it could be valid what you're saying. I just don't have anything to go by to suggest it would be eczema, if that makes sense. Ipatia. So Flavio says Jonathan was acquitted of the eras. I'm not sure, because the thing is, no one knows what the jury actually picked as the cause, which injury they went for. All everyone knows is that they had two options, and all everyone is deducing it to is it's more likely that they found that the finger was more consistent than the ear, That's all. But the jury hasn't said anything, unless one jury member comes out and says, hey, it was the ear, or it was this that we found on. No one actually knows, because the jury is not beholden to, submit a rationale for their reasons or anything like that. It's just what they have all decided to do to come up for that. She had dirty fingernails too. Don't be a hater. I'm playing. All right. So going on. She said that she deleted all of her messages, and so I just hung up the phone because I was upset. What did you understand the defendant's message in response? I'm answering to me. I mean, I was calling. Objection. Yeah, move to strike. I don't know if there was an answer, but if there is an answer, it's stricken. I think that's hearsay, or probably facts not in evidence. I don't know what would call it to strike. I don't know what was said to call it to strike. So it's weird. Ms. Jabbari, do you remember reaching out to the defendant after speaking with him on the phone? Yeah, after I hung up. What did you do after you hung up? I just asked him to call me. I felt I had been irrational by hanging up, and actually I wanted to continue the conversation. Was the defendant answering you? No. And approximately, to the best of your memory, how many times did you call the defendant? A lot. Yeah, I don't know the exact number. 33. Do you know for approximately how long you called the defendant? No. It wouldn't have been too long, but it felt like a really long time. What was your emotional state at this point? I was exhausted. I was just kind of like lying on the bed, like feeling the pain in my body, but also just really desperate to speak to him. It's so confusing when like the person you love betrays you, I guess, in that way. And I think it was adding to it was just really upset, and I guess is the only way I had to put it, heartbroken. Did there come a time when you stopped trying to contact the defendant that night? Yeah, I realized he wasn't answering, so I just stopped. What did you do after that? Try to sleep? Yeah. What do you mean by that? I was like lying on the bed, got ready for bed, took my clothes, makeup, and everything off, and went to bed, and realized I couldn't lie a lot of positions. I couldn't lie a lot of positions due to the pain in my body. I realized I couldn't lie on the right side at all. I just felt hideous. So I just thought, okay, I'm just going off it. If I can't sleep, I'll just take the sleeping tablet or two. All Jonathan did was pick her up. That really, like, this guy, you really want this? You want me to believe that this guy was as strong as King Kong, that him just picking you up and putting you back in a car is causing all this pain? Like, that's all I saw on, there's nothing else to suggest that he was punching on the sides or doing anything. Like, that's confusing, man. But anyway, she feels pain. Oh, well, who am I to comment on someone's subjective experience? So nah, I gotta go back to that. I'm sorry, it's bothering me now. I gotta go back to the because she said that she took off her makeup, so I want to see what she looked like on the day of the arrest. That's not it. Let me get the. So he's coming up with it. So I'm gonna have to get the police body cam up. If I have it, I don't think I have it. Yep, oh no, I got it. Be weird if I didn't have it. So this is what she looked like when they first found her. Is her makeup off? Just checking. Again, like I said, I just fact check everything. Well, we know that this act. Yeah, the makeup is off. Well, we know that this act can come to an end because of, obviously, we know that she was on the phone to Holly Blakey for. I feel bad for him, man. We know she was on the phone with Ollie Blakey. Nah, okay, so she has taken the makeup off, confirmed right there. She was on the phone with Ollie Blakey for 2 hours, 20 minutes in and out, according to Ollie Blakey's testimony. So yeah, Do you remember how many sleeping tablets you took that night? 2. Do you remember what kind? Yeah, like you could get them on the shelf in the CVS, not even prescribed or anything like that. Just pick them up. Have you taken them before? Yeah. When do you usually take them? I normally take them if I know I have to be up earlier and have a show or a job, especially if I have been traveling, if my jet lag isn't right, if I'm up at weird hours, I would do that to regulate my sleep, just so I work better. In life, just so I work better in life as sleep. So I take them to regulate my sleeping pattern. I need to, yeah. Is there a normal amount of sleeping pills that you typically take? 1 or 2? So how did you end up? We'll get there. You said that you couldn't. Let me just ask the chat. Let me start a poll. Rate Grace truthfulness out of 10. 10, 7 to 9. Okay. 4 to 6, 0 to 4. So I really want to know, how truthful do you guys think she's being? The poll is now up. Let's go. Okay, so again, if you have any questions, you can put it in there. Put your questions in the Q&A, and then I'll be sure to answer it. So we're gonna go right back to answer whatever questions you may have. So currently there are no questions I can see at the moment. So yeah, so I'm gonna go right back into the reading. So he says, you said that you couldn't lie in a lot of positions. Could you explain what you mean by that? Yeah, I could not lie on the right side of my body at all. The back of my head was also hurt. It was just everywhere hurt. And as I said a few times, I'm used to like a muscle ache, but mostly used to pain inflicted in certain other ways. And this just felt so uncomfortable. Yeah, I couldn't find a comfortable position to sleep in at all. What happened next? I took the sleeping tablets, fell asleep for, I think it couldn't have been more than 2 or 3 hours, and I just woke up in pain. So remember, Grace is up before Holly Blakey had to testify, because Holly Blakey, I believe, was testifying. I believe Holly Blakey had testified in on the 8th of December. I believe that's when she testified. So Grace is saying all this before. She said she couldn't sleep for more than 3 or 4 hours. She went in around, I'll give it maybe 4:30. She went to bed, and then she woke up at 7:30. Right, 7:30, 8:30, or something like that. I'll give her that. Maybe she went to bed at 5, woke up at 5 o'clock, 9, started texting Ollie, because we know objectively she was texting Ollie. And can you explain by what you mean by woke up in pain? Yeah, I think anytime I kind of moved to my side, I would just wake up, even though I had taken sleeping tablets. Yeah, it was really painful to sleep. So anytime I would move out of position, it would wake me up. To be quite honest, if the jury also didn't discount the ear injury because of this testimony, that would also make sense, because well, the testimony that she ran into a wall, I don't know who that was by the way. So I think I'm blanking. I have to go back and watch a couple more streams to hear what Danny had to say in regards to that wall thing where she was seen on the wall. I think I believe it was on CCTV. I don't think anyone testified to it. That's it. It was on CCTV. So with that being shown, that could explain away the pain injuries here, because I completely forgot about that fact actually. But yeah, that's the most likely explanation of pain injuries. But yeah, what did you do after waking up? I noticed like the hair on my head was stuck behind my hair. Sorry, so I was just thinking, like, I know I couldn't lie on my right hand side, on my right side, sorry. and I just thought somebody hit me on the head. So I thought, what is going on? I had no idea. And I started realizing I could peel that hair off. And I started realizing I could peel the hair off my hair. And then I started like kind of feeling it. And there was like dried blood, I guess. And so I was just like, what is this? Also, my finger hurt. And that point, it turned more or less black. So yeah, I was kind of like also think I would have realized the full extent of the bruising on my body from the car. And then I kind of went to the mirror and tried to have a look what was going on physically. But did you see anything that when you looked at in the mirror? I was trying really hard, but it objection that was not in evidence. The question that was just asked, there was no foundation for that testimony overruled. I mean, can you repeat the question? Says yes. What if anything did you see when you did try to look in the mirror? I couldn't really see anything because it hurt to like move it. I could move the top of my ear with a lot of pain, but I would have to really forcefully look to, the angle of the mirror. Just wasn't working. I like held up a makeup mirror, and I saw something was not right. So I like cleared my hair, and I was trying to take photos with my iPhone of it. And you said that your hair was stuck. Can you explain what you mean by that? Yeah, I think that night I'm very fidgety. You probably all noticed, but also when I'm stressed, I think the whole night I was kind of like putting hair behind my ear, and again in my sleep, I guess I slept with it behind my ear, and it had just dried whatever was going on there. Was that the first time that you noticed any blood in your ear? Yeah. What was the first time that you noticed pain in your ear? Objection leading, it is leading. When was the first time you noticed pain in your ear? Or I noticed objection as answered yesterday overruled. I noticed that in the side of my head, and I felt like I had a headache throughout the night. I couldn't localize the pain at the time until the morning when I fell asleep or was trying to sleep. I was aware that I absolutely couldn't lie on the right side of my head. It was not an option. So then probably would be the first time I noticed, but I didn't specify my ear hurts. It was just very everything hurts situation. I'm showing exhibit I have previously marked as People's Exhibit 12 for identification. People's 12 evidence shown to the witness. Ms. Jabbari, do you recognize the photograph? Yes. What do you recognize it to be? My ear. How do you recognize that photograph? I took the photo. Do you know approximately what time the photograph was taken? In the morning, that morning. Is this a fair accurate depiction of your ear on the March of on the morning of March 25th, 2023? Yeah. People move exhibit to evidence. No objections. It says published to the jury. Ms. Jabari, could you explain where the injury was in your ear was located by pointing at my ear? So she said she took this photo. So it's clearly different from the okay, so it's not different, sorry. It's not different. That's the exhibit that's being shown now. It will be her that's taking it. That's some insane camera skills, by the way. I don't think I can do this. I can't do this. I can't take a photo like that. That's camera skills. So props to her on that one, I guess. I'm just gonna head over to the chat right now. Hip Ipatia says it's just a weird place to have an injury like that. I can fold my ear right over and the skin is fine. But sometimes I get skin splits between my fingers when it's cold. Yeah, I mean, I'm not discounting it happens. I'm just I think this is why a lot of people did not why the jury, probably discarded this because they know it's not possible that Jonathan would have caused that, not without swelling. It's not possible. It's just not possible. Like unless you really grabbed her in by her ear and dug your nails in, and even then, if you did that and really dug your nails in, it wouldn't be it's cut like that. You can more or less notice other signs of the other fingertips, as if Jonathan's nails are even that long anyway, or that's the only thing that would cause such a sharp injury, someone's nails, you know what I mean? Otherwise, what other mechanism was being used to lacerate it like that? To cut it like that, not lacerate. I'm not sure if I use that word correctly there. Fingernails were in a transcript, but more about the finger injury on cross. Right. We are definitely getting there. We are just 20 pages in. She didn't have any bruising in evidence. Nope, she did not. Priya was right, but this judge was biased. Yeah. I mean, I've seen some moments that I feel like, yeah, you can 100% maybe have not ruled that way. And some of the things that he's done, I also felt, okay, maybe it's a bit weird. But I think I don't know. It's hard to measure judge biasness if they have got more right than wrong. If that makes sense. I mean, I think they got so far. As I'm reading these transcripts, I've only pointed like 3 mistakes that I felt were mistakes that I wouldn't know what basis he would have. But anyway. Yeah, so I mean, in regards to the audio being blocked, I have no idea. I think Natalie, the way she explained it was, it wasn't relevant to the fight, to the assault, really and truly, because what happened at the penthouse is a completely different case to what happened at the scene, because what happened at penthouse is kind of how we got here. So if you want to really be critical, you can argue that the cam is most likely, the body cam, all of the things that happen at the penthouse is just background information or the conclusion of a story, not necessarily what happened at that day. So the penthouse, the audios, what was said, etc., may be deemed as irrelevant to what was actually going on by the judge anyway. So he may have felt that the statements that Grace was making there, unless Grace was, it would be deemed as hearsay, basically, or something like that. Unless Grace was coming on a stand saying, I did not say anything. I did not say anything to them. I did not. Then that would obviously bring the camera in, because inconsistent statements, etc. That's the way I'm logically looking at it. I actually don't know what the legalities are in regards to this. Wolverine nails, absolutely, Solo Dove, absolutely. If you are still here in this stream, please hit that like button, hit that share button. Let the algorithm become our best friend, so that I can share the streams. We are reading Grace Jabbari's transcripts of the 6th of December 2020 and 23, fact checking the fact checkers. This is the Heinz Case Files editions, so don't forget to, of course, subscribe for more content that we have coming out. We have loads and loads of content coming out. Tomorrow I speak with she was in a chat on Verdict Watch, I believe. No, not Verdict Watch. She was in a chat on day 6 when Danny was here. And she was basically speaking about how victims react. She runs her own wellness company coaching, so that she can help women rehabilitate from abusive relationships, etc. And I felt it would be interesting to get her point of view. So that's in tomorrow's live stream. I'm speaking to Angelina Lewis, who is Living Warrior Academy Hub, and she does have her own YouTube channel. So we'll be talking, and I'll be getting her viewpoints on why she believes that Grace Jabbari was telling the truth, and Grace Jabbari really was a victim of abuse. I would really love to hear what she has to say, and I anticipate you guys might like to hear what she has to say also. So, I thought it would be a great way to have a conversation, and hopefully see what comes out of the conversation, see what nuances can be understood from the conversation. So that's happening tomorrow, live on the channel. So again, make sure that you subscribe. We cover cases of this ilk. So back to the transcripts. It goes on to say, uh Ms. Jabbari, could you explain where the injury to your ear was located by pointing at my ear, whatever is easy for you? Yeah, like behind. I guess if it's hard to explain. That little crease between your ear and your head. Do you want to describe that for the record? Yeah. Let the record reflect. Miss Joy put her fingers behind that right here. What was your pain level at the point of taking this photograph or of your ear? Very high. See, if I was the prosecution, I would not be doing this. But then again, I'm biased because I do come from a family that everyone's in medicine, so I kind of know how to ask this question. But I definitely will be saying rate out of 10. Out of 10, out of 5, give me a number. This is vague. Like, this is, to me, this opens so much doors for the prosecution. Very high. That's too subjective. I don't know. It's my opinion, but I would be asking out of 10. Give me out of 10, give me out of 20, give me out of 100, give me out of 5. I don't know. Something numerical. So not this. It's just too vague. Anyway, have you fallen out? Had you fallen at any point before taking this photo? Objection as to what leading. All right, it is leading, but go ahead. Follow up. Did there come a time where when you fell that night still leading overruled? What? It's okay. It is leading, but no, only when he pushed me back inside the car. Did did you take any other photographs of your injuries? Yes. What would that be? I took a few photos of my ear because I didn't know if I was getting it, and I took photos of my finger. I'm showing you what was being pre-marked as People's Exhibit 13 for identification purposes. Is there a lot of photos? What was that? Is there a lot of photos? Do you want to mark them all at the same time, show them to a defense, unless you want this judge and prosecution conferring? Don't really need to do this one. Nothing really interesting from this one, so I'll just move on. So he says, so they showed to the witness, ask her, Miss Jabbari, do you recognize this photograph? Yeah. What do you recognize it to be? My finger, my hand. How do you recognize it? I took the photo. Do you know approximately what time it was taken? The same morning. And which hand is this a photograph of? My right hand. Is this a fair and accurate depiction of your hand, your right hand, on the morning of March 25th, 2023? Yes. Move into evidence, People's Exhibit 13 for identification purposes. No objection. So he says, yeah, I'm sure. So they moved into evidence. As that's being done, showed all the pictures you're going to introduce. So the judge orders to show that. While they're conversing, you could do the next one. So prosecution, yep, moving on. Says, where were you when you took this photograph? Lying in my bed. What, if anything, did you do after taking the photograph of your ear and finger? I tried to get in contact with one of my friends. Who would that be? Holly. How did you try to get in contact with her? I tried to call her and she didn't answer. So I text her seeing if she could call me. Was there a point in time when you did get in contact with her? Yes. What, if anything, did you do with the photographs you are taking? I sent them to her whilst on the phone, to her, telling her, oh, okay, one moment, Your Honor. So they go on to show the other exhibit. Just basically housekeeping terms to say, so prosecution asked, Ms. Jabbari, what do you recognize of People's Exhibit 14 to be? Me sending the pictures I sent to Holly. What format did you send to her in? On WhatsApp? Is that what you mean? Yeah. Oh yeah, on WhatsApp. Do you know approximately what time you send them to her? In the morning. Yeah, this is, I think it's in English time. What is the time zone the screenshot is taken in? 5 hours after, so 7 a.m. I think 7 a.m. So this would be if she slept for 2 hours. See, I was basing it on the time that she was at the lobby. You know, remember that surveillance the time before was supposed to be 3:43 probably. So she was at the hotel at 3:43 around that time, 4 o'clock. So she must have gone to bed really quickly after that, because to wake up 2 or 3 hours later, it would be 7 o'clock, etc. Before she got up and started doing all these things. So between 7 and 8, it would line up to be. I asked this to be published to a jury. They did that. Where were you when you were speaking with Holly? Started off in the bedroom. I was on the phone with her and on and off quite a while. So I was at some point just getting water or walking around a little bit, but mainly in the bedroom on the bed. You said 7 to 8 a.m. Do you mean Eastern time? Yeah. What was your emotional state when you were speaking with her? I was, yeah, tired, but also trying to. I mean, what I want. I mean, she's one of my best friends, so I was just trying to go through what to do next, and she was very supportive. She was one of the few people that I had. Sorry, I'll stop you there. What do you mean tired? I was just, yeah, I probably had about 2, 3 hours of sleep. I was in so much pain. My body just felt really, really drained. Yeah. How were you feeling physically while speaking to her? Awful. Yeah, I was in a lot of physical pain physically and was tired. Did there come a time later on that morning when you reached out to the defendant? Yeah. Publishing what is already evidence as people says is it before J. Miss Jabbari, what color are the text messages from you? Gray. Approximately what time do you reach out to the defendant again? To the best of your memory. 7. Why did you ask the defendant to call you? I think I just want a closure, and excuse me, Your Honor, it has an exact timestamp. I would like the witness she's reading from the exhibit to say the exact timestamp and its exact time and not approximately. I apologize. Should I do that? You should say the time. There's one at 7:47 a.m. There's one at 7:51 a.m. and there's one at 7:52 a.m. Why did you ask the defendant to call you? Again, this is crucial because of the TMZ text. The texts are from TMZ to let me just get that over. It's the text message. Damn it. Oh, okay. Let me just try and find it. Jonathan Majors. It should be on TMZ. That's the one. So this is it. Not sure if you can see it. If you can see it, that's the 8:48 is when Jonathan texts. Yep, it's sorry, 8:58. So she is clearly conscious at this point. It would make sense why Jonathan is going there to commit suicide. With this context now, it makes a lot of sense why Jonathan would believe it was suicide, because comes in, finds her unconscious. That's why the police came in to find as well. So again, it's not like look here. There is no note, just you knowing what happened. Okay. All right, moving on. As I said, I think I made a really clear decision in my mind that this was not a good relationship. I think the cheating was, yeah, the identifying factor, and that somehow that was the thing made clear. You know what? I really believe her on this one, because if she was really planning, if she was really in the apartment and was naked and was just lying there, she would have most likely. It's believable that the cheating was done, and in a last minute thing, she decided to just do what she did, and then in the hopes that that would get him back in a weird way. That would make sense, because again, I'm trying to reconcile, why are you naked in the house, lying on the floor unconscious? Anyway, and in the same breath, I'm living in this apartment with him. All my stuff is there, literally everything I own. And I just wanted to, I hadn't had a conversation with him. I'm about to leave. I don't ever want to see him again. But I just felt like we are adults and we should talk this through. Publishing to the people, what's already in evidence, People's Exhibit 4K. I hope this is her when she got caught in 4K. Anyway, Ms. Jabbari, what time did you send the message on the stream? 7:52. What color is that message? Gray. What did you mean by stating this message to the defendant? Just he wasn't talking, so I said, okay, goodbye, no night, nothing. You don't need to hear me again. This is it. Fine. If that is what we're doing, let me be. What did you mean by there is no note? No conversation, no writing, nothing. What did you mean by just knowing what you had, just you knowing what had happened? He knows what he's done. He's cheated on me. He's attacked me, This is not, I don't know. Sorry. That's not consistent. Not from what I'm reading here. That's not consistent. But moving on. Do you remember in the, I don't know. That doesn't flow with what I'm seeing here. Because did you leave the keys? He's accepting of this. He's like, okay, fine, we're done. Did you leave the keys? Goodbye, Grace. It was redacted because of she was anonymous at the time, so this had to be redacted for the public because the public was going to see it. Same thing as the phone number and her name. That's why that was redacted. But yeah, goodbye, Grace. Did you leave the keys? Done. And he never messaged her after all of this. Again, anyway. You see why it's not congruent, because she's like, here, I love all these things, I love you on all these things, but she had already broken up with him. She's minimizing something. I'm not calling her a liar. I'm just saying that she's omitting something or minimizing something. Mischaracterizing as well can fall into it. Do you remember independently receiving the response from the defendant? I remember just making a decision to not really look at the messages anymore, even if it came through. I didn't register it. By this point, I had spoken to Holly and just thought, I'm getting out of here. What, if any, locks do you have in the bedroom? You could lock the room fully. What happened next? I was on the phone to Holly and she was, can I say what she was saying to me? No. Judge says no. Okay, sorry, I didn't understand. Okay, that's okay. And I decided to leave. I was set to be leaving the next day, but I was wanting to get out of the apartment that day. However, I was extremely tired. I just needed like a few hours sleep more so I could gather the strength. I could barely move my body at this point. I was just like, let me just sleep a little bit more because I felt exhausted. So I locked the door because I know the defendant and I believe you see the issue here. Because I know the defendant and I believed, I don't know what I can say or not. So because obviously it will be speculation, but you're telling me that you're sleeping all this time with the door unlocked, but after this text message, you decided to lock the door. Unless I'm misconstruing, because if I'm understanding right, because she said she was also packing, she wouldn't have had any cause to lock the door because she was packing to leave. But then she decided to sleep instead. So that would explain her locking the door. What did you do after locking the door? I went back to sleep. Basically, I just said to Holly, I'm going to leave. I want to, but I'm so tired. I just need to sleep. But in order to feel safe, I just needed everything locked because I was scared he was going to come back, basically. Why were you scared he was going to come back? The way it had been ended in our relationship, I guess she was trying to, I guess this was basically speculation, but again, it's our own thoughts. It's not saying he was crazy or he was this and that. But anyway, moving on. You said that you were so tired and you were trying speculation. What would be speculative? He's not saying. So she's not saying that he was likely going to leave the hotel and come and beat me up. That would be speculation, wildest speculation. But based on this, what was the way it had been in a relationship? That's just recollection, like what she feels. It's not necessarily speculative, in my opinion. On the bed, they can take that back. So you said you were so tired you were trying to fall asleep. Where did you fall asleep? On the bed. Okay, they can take that back. Okay, so they take it back to the exhibit, I'm guessing. What did you do after falling asleep on the bed? After I fell asleep, I woke up and felt really sick. Like my body was just like, whoa, no. So I was kind of like starting to being sick. I ran to the toilet. I was throwing up. Did you know why you were being sick? I think it was the pain, the lack of sleep, probably some of the alcohol. You know it was the alcohol. Anyway, just a combination of just my body not being happy. What happened after you were throwing up? Didn't she just say that all she was tipsy? You wouldn't need to throw up if you would. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. I've been told I'm too harsh on her, so I'm just not gonna. Just if I speak, I'm in trouble, big trouble. So I choose not to speak. After I threw up, I just kind of felt exhausted again, and my head was really aware. Like I just need to be. I just need to pack and get out of here. But I kind of just like it sounds really ridiculous, but the floor was the in the bathroom is already heated. It already in the bathroom area is heated. I was like, okay, I'm going back. I'm going to pack, but I'm going to lie down. And I just kind of fell asleep, I guess. You have a whole bed. I don't know. I don't care what heated floor someone has. It's not replacing my bed. I'm going back to bed. If I'm anyway. But it just sounds to me like she was just hung over. It sounds like she was just hung over or something. I don't know. It's like extremely like I laid down and fell asleep because I don't think we ever lie down and remember the point we fell asleep. I just remember feeling like I want to be dozing a little bit longer before I start packing up my life. How were you able to sleep on the floor? I actually can't believe this part because she knows it's over. She knows she tried to get him back. She was running for time. She's already tired. She went out clubbing. It was a whirlwind of the day. I can actually understand why she would be at this point knowing it's over. Jonathan messaged her. Well, actually, I don't know. It was 8:58 a.m. So I don't know what time this whole thing is happening, but knowing that it's over, etc., and like it would make sense why this would be what you would be doing. Like, okay, what's the point? I give up. Like kind of thing. Feeling deflated, feeling tired, lot more tired, and doing things that are out of your character. That sequentially that would make sense. That actually does make sense. It was just warm and I was exhausted. As I said, I was just in a lot of pain and tired and just emotionally drained and overwhelmed. I felt just pure exhaustion. I could fall asleep anywhere in that moment, I believe. Why were they warm? It was a heated floor. And what is the next thing that you remember occurring? The next thing I remember is being sorry. The next thing I remember is just waking up to loads of officers. That's not congruent. I already know this is not congruent. What time did Holly Blakey said that they stopped speaking? 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. Like they were already I believe she was sending the pictures as well to Holly. I know I think she testified to saying to the text messages she sent to Jonathan was at 7. She had already she didn't finish speaking to Holly completely at this point because remember Holly said that she called her back. She was calling her back in and out, and they didn't start speaking until like 10 o'clock. That's what she said. This is 8. This is 8 or 9 o'clock. So it wouldn't have been possible for her to fall back asleep and then wake up again to the officers. But that's what she said. She said she fall back asleep on the bathroom floor, but she was found in the closet. You either have to admit that you were drunk and you just can't remember the full details of that morning, or you were fine and you're lying. One of the two. But I believe the jury didn't pay attention to this part of the testimony because um it probably wasn't, to them anyway, it probably wasn't relevant to the assault. So they just discarded it completely and they didn't account the credibility of this one in regards to the what happened in the vehicle. But I personally believe our credibility here again is like I've been saying, it shows a pattern of minimization. And that's what she keeps doing, minimizing every behavior that she did that she views is negative. And the next thing I remember, sorry, waking up or being woken up to loads of officers, feeling really overwhelmed. I had like only clothes I went to bed in, which was a jumper and not nothing else, and just a room full of men. Yeah, that is the next thing I remember. Why didn't you have anything else on? I normally sleep with nothing on. I relate. That's me too. But I did put a jumper on, so yep. Sometimes I sleep with a shirt too. So that was what I was sleeping in. When you say officers, what kind of officers do you mean? I think there was a few police officers. I actually think there was like maybe a paramedic, sorry, eventually someone from like the fire department or something like that. Yeah, because you locked the door. And did you call the police? No. Did you understand why the police had been called? No. But I started to with their questioning of what was happening. And when the police came, what was your emotional state at that point? Just totally overwhelmed. Like the last thing I had in my memory was being alone, feeling safe-ish. It was so overwhelming. Just being a woman, half naked, surrounded by big men. It was just not the nicest feeling I've ever experienced in my life. I can understand why that would be triggering. What was your physical pain? Why that was triggering and embarrassing? Sorry. What was your physical pain level at that point? Really high, but kind of overwhelmed of what was going on. I felt more present. What was the pain, if at all, in your arm at this point? Yeah, it was. I was in a lot of pain everywhere. It felt like either I had been hit by a bus or done a really extreme exercise class, and I hadn't done for a year. Like just achy and battered. Did you observe the defendant at this point? No. I just remember hearing him. Did you tell the officers how you sustained your injuries? Objection. Speculation. I'll be speculation. Overall, I know I alluded to it in the safest way I felt possible. And we're gonna stop right there. We're gonna pick this up. I believe it should be on Monday. I believe we'll pick this up on Monday evening, same time as today. But yeah, I'm just gonna go to the chat real quickly. Ipatia says body cam audio is way more relevant than us secretly recording that fight. I mean, because the only way I can answer this question, the best way I understand, well, no, it's not a question but a statement. The only way I can address the statement, the best way I can understand is that recording was between both of them only, while the body cam is with multiple parties. So hearsay is easier, much easier to evoke and object with the body cam, whereas it's not really that much with the defendant and the you know and the prosecution. However, sorry, the key witness. Sorry. However, there is a massive caveat, and that would be whether it would be probative or prejudicial. I personally felt it was prejudicial, but because uh but because the def, but because the defense was going down the route of establishing a pattern and not necessarily trying to use it to prove that this is how the defendant is, and because the defendant wasn't technically doing anything criminal, wasn't technically doing anything that would be suggestive of that will rise to the level of criminality, because he was just telling us something, because those things are not really codified or written, then he could come in. But of course, if it was an actual crime to tell someone to be like Coretta Scott King or something like that, then I could see how then he'll be like, no, we're not playing it, even though it does meet or bypass all the requirements of hearsay, for example. So that's the only way I can address that and like kind of like mix, like put some context behind it or some info behind it. That's the best way I understand it. But in regards to this reading, it's very interesting because again, like I'm seeing the same consistent pattern that I saw in the last stream, which was just her minimizing her the unfavorable behaviors that she may have posed in the relationship. There's a massive shift from the pain that she said that she didn't feel because of being worried about, I hope you guys picked up on that as well. She said that she didn't feel the pain here on the fingers, but she felt it here on this day. She also said that there was only something here at the top, but then obviously you see the redness here and there. But then again, what she's probably describing there, now reading the whole thing, I'm guessing she's most likely describing the progression of, swelling or injury or whatever. And that's why you now see the red when she took the picture later on. But before, she was describing only seeing injury here, the fingernail and on this side of the finger. So that's the best way I can make of it after reading all of this to page 193, which is where we're stopping today. And we'll be back to not tomorrow, sorry. We'll be back definitely on Monday. Also, we have a stream coming up where I speak to she says that she took a course in domestic violence to actually understand all of this, that she actually took a course and she did it. So anyway, all of these things I'll be asking in the stream, proffering, getting as much information as possible as to what she does, the work that she does, and why she's doing it. Questions like that, trying to understand where she's coming from, where and why she believes Grace was the victim in this particular relationship. I think it'll be interesting to have such conversations. Make sure you go and make sure that you, I'm looking forward to that stream anyway. Let me just put it like that. I'm looking forward to that stream. I hope you are too. Don't forget to check out the channel for all the content that we do. We have a host of content. We also have lots of live streams with guests and interviews as well. And also, do not forget, they're all collated in a playlist format. So make sure you go and check that out. And in regards to the stream that we have coming up tomorrow, it is right here. So make sure you go and check out that as well. It's right here. Is the LW Academy. So that's tomorrow. I go by the name of Dr. Hines. Thank you so much for tuning in onto today's stream. Thank you everyone that took part in the chat and communicate with me. Shout out to you, Solo Dove, Lou, Jamia Solomon, Hipatia, and thank you ever so much for tuning in. And also Sana, what's up? Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care of yourself and have a great evening or day wherever you reside. Take care. Bye-bye.